They through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. You know, our job is to stay in prophecies and see the news and keep feeding the sheep and warn the sheep of the times to come. Over here, Tillerson on North Korea. Diplomacy will continue until the first bomb drops. So they're already gearing for war, man. U.S. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson said Sunday his diplomatic efforts will continue as long as they possible can, despite the saber rattling on both sides of the Pacific. Those diplomatic efforts will continue until the first bombs drop, Tillerson said on CNN's State of the Union. Tillerson's comments came a day before the latest U.S.-North Korea military exercises off the Korean peninsula, which Pyongyang claims are rehearsals for a U.S.-led invasion. The U.S. says the drills are defensive in nature. Tillerson said prioritizing diplomacy to try to curb North Korea's nuclear ambitions is President Donald Trump's preferred avenue. Despite a statement on Twitter that suggested diplomacy won't work, the president wants to avoid violence, Tillerson said. Yeah, right. The Most High don't want to avoid violence. The Most High controls everything, man. It's all prophecy. The president has also made clear to me that he wants this involved diplomatically. Tillerson said he is not seeking to go to war. Tillerson said he's fully enact despite Corker's castrate comment. Several weeks ago, Tillerson announced from Beijing that he had direct lines of communications with North Korea and was seeking to cool tensions between North Korea and the United States. Shortly after Tillerson comments, Trump took to Twitter to say that he thought Tillerson was wasting his time trying to negotiate with North Korea. Tension have ratcheted up between the two nations, and North Korea continues to develop and threaten the use of his nuclear weapons and long-range missiles, and Trump has threatened to totally destroy the isolated nation. Asked if Trump tweets undermine his diplomatic efforts, Tillerson said connections between U.S. and Chinese leaders were close and that the Chinese are not confused in any way about U.S. policy toward North Korea. As for Trump tweets themselves, Tillerson said the president made the statements he did to try to motivate action. North Korea renewed their threats to launch missiles into the waters around the U.S. territories of Guam on Friday and advanced Monday's U.S.-South Korea's drills. The joint Navy drills will last for 10 days in the waters of South Korea, according to a U.S. statement, and features a U.S. aircraft carrier and two guided missile destroyers. On Friday, North Korea's state media KCNA said reckless moves by the United States will force the rogue state to take counter-actions. The U.S. military actions hardens our determination that the U.S. should be tamed with fire, and let us take our hand closer to the trigger for taking the toughest countermeasure, the KCNA report quoted Kim Kwang Hak, a researcher at the Institute for American Studies of the North Korean Foreign Ministry, as saying. The harsh rhetoric continued on Sunday with a commentary in state newspaper routing Sinmun, calling President Eagle-faced Trump a war merchant and stranger of peace. North Korea has previously threatened to fire missiles close to Guam in August, further inflaming tension between Pyongyang and the Trump administration. Yeah. And this is all given to the Third World War, man. Bring out the scripture. Isaiah 54. Behold, I create the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work, and I created the waster to destroy. The waster is those nuclear missiles, man. And there's going to be a nuclear war, because it's prophesied in the scriptures, man. Matthew 24:6. And ye shall hear wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nay, wars and rumors of wars. For nation shall rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom. That's how you know we at the end too, because how do we know about these different wars around the world? How do we know about these different earthquakes, these different disasters, man, that the Most High is bringing on earth, the hurricanes, the fires in California. How do we know about this? By way of the internet. So that's how you know we're in the last days. How we know about these different earthquakes, different parts of the world, because of the internet, man. You know, the media. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. Hey, North Korea said they want to throw the black plague on Americans and kill millions of them, man. This is all biblical prophecy because ultimately America is going to be nuked. You know, really they're going at North Korea, but they're really going at the Soviet Union that's back in North Korea, and Iran is cahoots with North Korea. So they passed sanctions on Iran and Iraq, and they're not backing up the nuclear deal, which all this is going to cause third world war, man. Which is going to be nuclear destruction, which is going to be America's demise ultimately. Thus save the Lord.